You know that feeling, right? The one that just stops you in your tracks. Your heart starts absolutely hammering against your ribs, and it feels like it comes out of nowhere. It's confusing, and let's be honest, it's pretty terrifying. Today, we're going to get to the bottom of it.
And that right there is the big question, isn't it? In that moment when everything feels so intense and your mind is just flooded with fear. Is this a panic attack, or is this something much, much worse for my heart? That uncertainty alone just makes the fear 10 times worse.
And we're not talking about some vague feeling here. These are real, physical sensations. The tricky part? These exact symptoms are listed for both anxiety attacks and for serious heart conditions. So it's no wonder it feels impossible to tell them apart when it's happening to you.
But here's the good news. We can cut through that fear. We're going to treat this like an investigation. We'll break it down, look at the evidence, and by the end of this, you'll have a much clearer way to understand what's really going on inside your body.
All right, so first things first, let's look at the main culprit behind those anxiety-driven palpitations, your body's own stress response. It's this ancient built-in system that, well, can be a little over the top for our modern world.
I mean, this system is literally baked into our DNA for survival. The whole fight or flight thing was absolutely essential for our ancestors when they were facing, a real physical threat. The problem is, your body can't really tell the difference between a saber-toothed tiger and a stressful email from your boss. It just senses a threat and slams the panic button.
So how does it work? It's actually a pretty simple but super powerful chain reaction. Your brain flags something as stressful. Boom! That triggers a flood of hormones like adrenaline. And the immediate result of that? Your heart starts beating faster and harder, pumping more oxygen to your muscles to get you ready for action.
And just think about that for a second. A normal resting heart rate is somewhere between 60 and 100 beats per minute. But during a stress response, it can easily rocket past 100. That sudden surge is exactly what you feel as a pounding, racing heart. It's a massive physical shift, and it happens in an instant.
And that leads to this really great way of thinking about it, the false alarm. A panic attack isn't a sign that you're weak or losing your mind. It's just your body's amazing alarm system getting triggered by mistake. Your survival instincts are working perfectly, maybe a little too perfectly.
Okay, so now that we get the false alarm idea, let's get down to business. It's time to put the two main suspects side by side. Let's really compare the clues between a panic attack and a heart attack.
Okay, let's really dig into this chart, because the clues are all here. First up, onset. A panic attack can hit you like a lightning bolt, totally out of the blue, even when you're just relaxing. A heart attack, on the other hand, is more often tied to physical effort. Then there's duration. Panic attacks are intense, for sure, but they're usually pretty short, peaking in about 10 minutes. Heart attack pain is relentless. It sticks around. What about the pain type? This is a big one. Panic often feels sharp, like a stabbing pain. A heart attack is more like a heavy, squeezing pressure. And finally, location. The pain from panic tends to stay put in one spot. But with a heart attack, that pain can travel or radiate out to your arm, your jaw, or your shoulder.
But, while that big scary question, panic or heart attack, is what gets our attention, it's not the full picture. We need to zoom out a little and look at some of the other things that could be causing that flutter in your chest.
And this chart really helps put it all into perspective. Look, psychosomatic causes, that's things like anxiety and stress, are the biggest single piece of the pie at 31%. But, and this is a big but, actual cardiac issues make up a really significant chunk too. This is exactly why you have to take these symptoms seriously every single time.
So look, it doesn't matter what you think is causing it. These right here are the non-negotiable red flags. If you experience any of these, especially if you actually faint, or if the palpitations just keep happening and seem to be getting worse, that's your signal. It's time to see a doctor and get a professional opinion. Don't put it off.
All right, we've looked at the science, we've compared the suspects. Now for the most important part. What do you actually do? This is your action plan for both getting through the moment and for taking care of yourself long-term. So, if you're pretty sure this is a panic attack, remember, you are not helpless. The first step, just saying to yourself, okay, this is a panic attack, can take away so much of its power. Then, take charge of your breath. Slow, deep breaths right from your belly. Closing your eyes can help block out all the extra noise and light, and then focus all your attention on just one thing. The feeling of your feet on the floor, or repeating a simple phrase like, I am safe. anything to ground you right here in the present.
Okay, listen up, because this is probably the single most important takeaway from our entire conversation today. If there is any doubt, any uncertainty in your mind about what's happening, you call 911. Immediately. Do not waste precious time Googling your symptoms. When it comes to your heart, every single second counts. It is always, always better to be safe than sorry.
Of course, the best way to deal with these false alarms is to try and prevent them from going off in the first place. This means managing your overall stress. And it's not rocket science, it's the basics. Getting some exercise, eating good food, getting enough sleep, making time for things you actually enjoy, and staying connected to people. All these things build up your resilience, making that alarm system less jumpy.
So, there you have it. The facts, the clues, and a game plan. Knowing all this is a huge first step. But the next step? Well, that one's up to you. What's your plan to take care of yourself before the next false alarm even thinks about going off?